Thank you guys for watching the Animal One Guys YouTube channel. If you like my content, leave a comment down below. Ask me questions, let me know what you liked about it. And hey, click on the little like button. But please, if you want, go ahead and subscribe, because it helps my channel out. That way you can stay up to date with all my videos. And if you want, click on the bell icon to get notified. Right? Right? Huh? 1 out of 2. Not bad. Hey everybody. So what do we have? We have a leopard gecko here. Leopard gecko is getting ready to go in the shed. You can see he looks kind of pale. That's fine. But we have a leopard gecko who's got some eye problems. He just had stuck shed buildup, probably because he didn't have a humid hide, and it built up inside of his eye. When leopard geckos shed, the inside of their eyelid sheds as well. It's actually a big pain. And so if it gets too dry, that piece breaks off when they're shedding on the outside and stays inside the eye. See how he's trying to clean his eye? He's trying to clean his eye so he can see. And that's what they're supposed to do, but that piece of skin will fall inside the bottom or top of the eyelid, pushing the eyeball back, causing a whole bunch of problems. Now that can be corrected. You can keep cleaning their eyes until their eyeball ends up sealing that gap. But for today's video, we have to talk about when your leopard gecko is losing weight because of an issue like this, because let's say they're not eating. So this guy, you can look, his tail was starting to get skinny, or girl, I didn't even look yet, but they're not eating. So we have to get food into these guys. Now, you've seen me do syringe feeding, and some people will rush to that right away, but that really is the second to last thing you want to try. But if you fail syringe feeding, then you're actually putting a tube down in through the throat into the stomach and then feeding. But let's back up, slow down, and get to what you should always do, and this might be something you can even do long term. So we need to assist feed, not with a syringe. We need to assist feed, and we're going to actually assist feed roaches. I've taken dubias and I've crushed their heads here. I've got 2 dubias. I'm going to show you how to do this, and this should be the step 1 for almost all lizards, even lizards that eat meat, things like that. If they'll still swallow and eat, if we can get them to assist feed, then you can help get them healthy and we can move on from there. So it's always the thing to do first. Now, I'm going to go over how we're going to do that, and then I'm going to show it to you. But obviously, we will hold the leopard gecko still, and we will hold the head as well, because leopard geckos can be stubborn. If we just put a dubia into the leopard gecko's mouth, more than likely it will shake its head and spit that thing away. Even if it's hungry, it will do this. So we need to put the food deep enough in the throat. That way it will trigger the swallowing reflex, and we can also help trigger that, and I'll show you how. The other thing we have to remember is, because these are big like this, we don't have to be as scared as when we syringe feed, because we don't have to be scared of these going down the trachea, the windpipe, the glottis, whatever people want to call it, because of how large they are. So this is easier. Now, you could get bit during this. You got to pay attention, and you got to know what to do. So we're going to hold the leopard gecko, slide this in the mouth, get it in as deep as possible, hopefully far enough that it will trigger swallowing. But then what we're also going to do, because remember, they will hold the food in their gullet here, we are going to very gently massage the gullet downward, and you actually can feel the dubia in there, because that's very loose skin. Remember, it's soft, it's supposed to stretch as they're storing food. We're going to start to massage that down, and that's going to trigger the swallowing reflex by massaging the gullet down and the food down. And then the leopard gecko will eat the food. This works all the time if they're at just the beginning of a health problem and you want to stop it, or the beginning of losing weight, or when you get them up to this. So we're going to obviously also crush the head of the roach, which I've done before, but now we're going to crush it more. And we are going to feed these in head first, because the nerves will still spasm in the roach. That's just nerves. The roach is dead. But it can also spasm forward. So that can help drive that roach down into the stomach. So how do we hold the leopard gecko? I like to go like this. That way we've kind of got the arms tucked back and the head in control. Now you won't take this long, but that's okay. Roach is going to come in the side of the mouth, like so. And that will get the head to open. Yep, just like that. And we're going to just be pushing this in. Now see how he goes to spit it out right there? That's all right. That's what they always do. That's what they'll do. It's all right. There we go. Now, we're going to trigger the swallowing effect. We got to make sure the roach stays in. You also got to make sure when you're holding them, you're not squeezing the stomach, and just trigger that swallowing effect. You can feel the roach right here. You can see the bulge. That's the roach. And then there it goes. I feel it going down. There it goes. And we're going to do one more. Everything's fine. Sometimes they'll pee on you, so you got to be, ready. They'll also poop on you when you go to restrain them. It's just casual. It's non-consensual feeding. Okay. Let's do the same thing. Let's take this guy. Now, I'll admittedly like to hold them up against my body because it gives you way more control, and, I'm reaching around a camera, but that's okay. Same thing. It gets in. It's all right. Nice and easy. He's got a little bit of a grip on it, which is okay. Now, I'm very loosely holding him, but I am going to hold the head here. I'm not squeezing the head, but my fingers are in position, locked in, without squeezing. That way he can't shake and send this thing flying, which is what he probably would want to do. Now we're going to try to trigger that swallowing effect. The gecko is nice and relaxed. Oh yeah. And you can tell we can trigger this swallowing effect. Look at that. We've triggered that, but now the food is not deep enough in the throat to be swallowing. That's okay, but that's that swallowing effect that's going to get him. See that he's doing that? He's doing this all on his own now. We started that just by stroking down. They can't help it. Once you trigger that muscle like that, you cause a little muscle spasm and the swallowing effect like that. That's what it's doing. He has no choice but to naturally swallow the food that was sticking out of his mouth, but his brain and muscle said, oh, I need to swallow this now. And so he does it. That's how you can keep doing this every day to keep getting natural food inside your leopard gecko. Take care, everybody.
Thank you guys for supporting my reptile rescue family.